What up? It's your boy Nick Incredible, and I know I'm late, but I am dropping 3 episode reviews for Star Trek Strange New Worlds today. And the first is episode 5, Spock Amok. Who doesn't love hijinks? Let's talk about it, man.
I'ma live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I don't lie at night, I be in my feelings, I'ma be fine.
This episode was a very good episode, man. I enjoyed it. I loved it because who doesn't love hijinks? This episode was very different from the others, and there's nothing wrong with that. I love a good silly episode, man, because you can have fun with a sci-fi series and enjoy itself. It doesn't have to be taken super serious or be in danger all the time. Sometimes it's nice to just sit back and relax and enjoy the episode and just have fun with it. And that's what this episode was, man, because we start off seeing Spock having a dream where he's fighting himself because he's not really sure how T'Pring feels about marrying a half Vulcan, half human person, and that's kind of eating away at him just a little bit, and we see him kind of deal with that throughout this episode. But we also see that T'Pring feels like, she's not number one in Spock's life. And the thing with a relationship is, there's compromises in a relationship, and Spock, I don't want to say he didn't quite get that, but he didn't quite get that. And he also was a little reserved because he felt that he wasn't enough for T'Pring. And the funny thing is, we get to see them in a hijink episode, aka a Freaky Friday point of view, where they get to live in each other's shoes a little bit, because Spock had this wonderful idea after talking to Chapel about, trying to engage a little bit more with T'Pring, but they end up switching bodies, you know what I'm saying? So now we're in a Freaky Friday situation in space, and we get to have these hijinks, which both Spock and T'Pring was like, I'm not a fan of hijinks. Me neither. So it was fun to have those hijinks take place and see them in each other's shoes, that try to understand what was going on from each other's perspective and point of view, because T'Pring saw how hard it was for Spock, to really just be pulled away from his job. And Spock saw how hard it was for T'Pring. She had a job to do, but she put her job on hold so she could be there with him. And I feel like them switching bodies gave it a nice dynamic for each other to really just understand what was going on with them. And then at the end of the episode, we see them switching back, but we also see them kind of just relaying their fears to each other, kind of explaining what was going on, why Spock felt this way and why T'Pring felt the way that she did. They kind of shared that with each other, and it ended in a very nice episode at the end of the episode for Spock anyway. Spock and T'Pring, they got it. But we also see that Chapel, I don't want to say she interjected because Spock, kind of asked for her input, but she interjected herself into the whole overall thing because she had some stuff going on as well. She just wanted to be with this guy since they're on leave, but the dude wanted more. The dude wanted more of a relationship, and she wasn't ready for that because there has to be something there. They kind of hinted at it this episode, but they didn't really give us too much to go on. But we can see that this episode, and even from the very beginning of the series, how Chapel kind of looks at Spock from time to time. And at the very ending of the episode, when she's talking to Ortegas, we see that, when she was like talking about relationships and everything, she was like, well, there's one. And then she kind of just cut it off, and she was like, there's nothing, never mind. And we know that that's kind of relating to Spock. So I don't know how that's going to play out, because she knows that Spock is engaged, and I don't think she would pursue him with him being engaged. But if they break up, that may increase her window. You know what I'm saying? There's also the hijinks. I feel like that was the overall theme of this episode of La'an and number one. Dude, I love La'an and number one. We knew that their relationship, I don't want to say was strained, but it was a little bit different because of everything that happened in the prior episodes. So seeing them together this episode, kind of be engrossed with everything that's going on the ship and being, I don't want to say outcast, but kind of just left to the side, because they're the two people on the ship where fun goes to die. So seeing them interact this episode and be a part of the hijinks and playing Enterprise Bingo was nice, man. It was fun. Like when they were doing the questioning of the two ensigns, and they were like, yeah, you guys were playing Enterprise Bingo, huh? Yeah, well, you guys are in trouble for that. And then at the end, when they leave, what is Enterprise Bingo? I don't know. So it was fun to see them do that, and they got to enjoy each other's company, and they also got to have fun because they're the only two people on the ship that like to stay on the ship when everybody has to leave to enjoy the ship. You know what I'm saying? I like work, so I like working on the ship. Is that wrong for me? So them having that moment to kind of just cut loose a little bit and enjoy themselves was fun watching, along with the hijinks of Spock and T'Pring. So La'an, number one, having their moment in the sun to just have fun was a nice concept with this episode. And then we have the whole overall diplomatic part of this episode. And I gotta say, man, every week, man, I love Pike. I just love seeing Pike there, man. Pike just doing his thing, and it's always cool. But we see that he needed Spock to really kind of be the mediator between everything, because the people of the Rungovians wasn't really feeling anybody else. They only wanted to talk to Spock because he can give a different perspective with him being Vulcan in the Enterprise, well, in the Starfleet. So all of that taking place with the diplomatic aside, and then at the very ending with them having that meeting, and then T'Pring having to see things through Spock's eyes and be in this meeting, and Pike standing up for Spock, aka T'Pring, where she kind of sees things a little bit different, and then that moment at the very ending of the whole overall discussion, and Pike just kind of just flip the script on the Rungovians, and that kind of made them see things his way a little bit, and they ended up flying the Starfleet flag as they left. Dude, I enjoyed it. Like, the hijinks were the best part of the episode, in my opinion, but the discussion and the diplomacy parts of it with Pike and Spock and everything, that was another great part. Every week I'm amazed by this, man. Like, I know it may not be a lot of people cup of tea, or they may not understand the way things are going and stuff, because sometimes some series, like when they do like reboot or redo series from the older days, they mess up some things, but I feel like it's okay as of right now. You know what I'm saying? They haven't went too far out of their way to mess up anything, and I'm enjoying it each week. Every time it takes place, you can kind of just really enjoy the episode as a whole. And this week, it was more comedic and more fun and engaging. And I had a lot of fun watching this episode. And they threw in the diplomacy part in there, to kind of give it that stability and keep it, where it wasn't completely funny. But even the hijinks wasn't just like bah ha ha, but it was just nice to sit down and enjoy it, and you can laugh watching this episode because of the hijinks. And I feel like that's something that Star Trek Strange New Worlds is doing in a very wonderful light, man. This is your boy Nick Incredible. Don't forget to smash the like button so you can't smash any more. Comment down below, and I'll be sure to respond to each and every one of them, and subscribe, but only if you really want to. Peace out.
All out, and I am here to stay right now, so don't call it